Are we missing something on the show notes? I can't tell. I don't feel like we missed anything.
One, I still don't know if I'm being recorded or not because you keep throwing me off with the intros, but I don't think
This
so.
is a non-disclosure state. I don't have to disclose if I'm recording you or not.
I know I watched Wicked on Friday to prepare for Wicked for Good because I knew you.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to We Watch TV. It is the podcast about the TV that we watch. I am Daniel. She is Hope. This is episode 123. We are here. It is the week of Thanksgiving.
And Daniel's birthday! You are over the hill now.
I am
He's already in a mood.
I'm starting my tumble down the backside. That is correct. What do you mean I'm in a mood?
You're just always grumpy. Like, you're so weird about your birthday. It's strange.
I think that if you're allowed to have a month of birthday
I
celebrations,
don't do that.
I'm allowed to have a week of being grumpy.
Okay.
So here we are. It is November.
How is Thanksgiving this week? I'm very confused.
I don't know.
Like,
it seems like it was just Halloween.
It seems like it was just like the summer, and now, like, why do January and February always drag? They're like the most miserable months. I hate them so much. It's like the kind of just that like downfall from the holidays, and it's just cold and miserable and awful. At least we're getting some good TV, because we're getting a lot of good TV coming up in December that we're going to like punt to January. Yeah. So that's something to look forward to. But it's like those months always go by slow, and then the rest of the year starts to uptick. And by the time you hit about like June, July-ish, like that back half, it flies by. And the bird months are the best. They're elite. They're top tier. And I'm like, I can't believe we're about to be wrapping up November.
But I've got something. So I've got something that makes February just slightly better for you.
Valentine's Day?
Nope. Go to your calendar on your phone and look at February 2026 and see how satisfying it is. It's the best thing. Somebody on TikTok did this the other day, and it's perfect. It's perfect.
Oh, because it's like a cross?
It's just 4 straight weeks, Monday or Sunday through Saturday. It's perfect.
I don't love it.
So.
I thought you were going to tell me it was like a leap day again or something. I was like, what does they call it on 30 Rock? Is it leap?
Well, I know what you're saying.
Is it Leap Day Tom? That's not it, right?
No, that's not. It's not Leap Day Tom. It's something else. No, it's not leap year. But that's just like February is the only month you can have a perfect calendar on, and so that I just thought that was really cool.
February is literally one of the most boring months too.
That's why you gotta take it where you can get it.
Leap Day William.
Leap Day William. And then Buttons and Bows.
From the Frasier episode.
For the Frasier episode.
Take a leap. All right, what did we do over the past week? Well, I'll tell you what we did. We have the holidays are as follows: Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving. You get like a day, and then the rest of Christmas, or other holidays of that time of year. And then for the past 2 years, the week right before Thanksgiving has also been the Wicked week, and it does really feel like another holiday, and the Wicked era is almost coming to a close. But I need you to take me to see the Broadway show.
I think it's going to have a long tail.
Yeah, because now I'm listening
of you
to the
running around the
half.
house singing the songs, but not in complete sentences. You pick like 4 words and just repeat them over and over and over again.
Thank goodness, wonderful. Well, every time I start to think about For Good, I start to get really sad. I got sad when I would hear like For Good when Kurt and Rachel sang it on Glee. It would make me emotional. So every time I hear that song, I get emotional. So like the Broadway version, I'm like, I know when I have to hear Cynthia and Ariana sing this, I'm going to sob. Then I watched them on that One Wonderful Night Wicked special on Peacock, where Adina and Kristen also sang it with them. Sobbed on that. I thought I was ready to go into the movie. I had all the tissues packed. I was like, I know I'm going to cry in this number. I didn't know that I was going to weep. Like, I had to keep taking off my glasses. I'm talking full-blown sobbing. Thankfully, my mascara was mostly intact. I'll tell you something. Ariana's beauty line. I'm not sponsored by REM Beauty, but I got the Glinda makeup set. That, like, purple liquid eyeshadow, that stuff stays intact because I sobbed and it was still there, and I was still scrubbing it off my eyes after the movie. But shall I just go ahead and talk about Wicked?
Tell us about it.
Shall I see no one mourns the wicked?
You went to your hometown. You took your nephew with you.
Yes.
And so you bought a bunch of crap.
Not crap. Wonderful things.
Yeah. And then you
obsessulated.
Saw Wicked for Good.
Wicked for Good. So last year we saw Wicked Part 1 together. I took my nephew who was starting to get really into Wicked and excited about it, and I created another little Wicked stan. Thank you. You're welcome, sister. And
just what the world needed.
We had a wonderful time. It was amazing. I've never gotten to actually see the Broadway show because no one's ever taken me to that before. Someone needs to take me. So
Anybody out there want to take her?
I love that they did this movie and that they got the movie right. Like my experiencing Wicked is, through the lenses of other things, and I know the soundtrack, and I was so thrilled, and I felt like they knocked it out of the park on Part 1, and I knew when going into Part 1 that we were gonna it was gonna be in 2 parts. I guess some people didn't know that last year. I'm like, I knew that right away, and I'm glad because after seeing the second part, I feel like they would have, for me to be satisfied, I would have had to have at least a 4-hour movie. Everything would have felt rushed. So we end Act 1 at Defying Gravity, and then at first I was like, let's make it, in the summer. Don't make me wait forever. But ultimately, I like that they put it out that same time of year because it felt like another build up to Thanksgiving. We get Wicked Week, Thanksgiving. So it was really fun to get to experience that again with my nephew. He was super excited. His birthday is actually on Thanksgiving Day this year because you guys are a day apart. And my sister went ahead and gave him one of his birthday gifts was a Wicked t-shirt. So I had my pink Wicked sweater with the Wicked in the green. He had his t-shirt on. We're walking into the mall, and the Salvation Army person's like, "Enjoy Wicked." What we're there to see. And last year we bought which I'm looking at it right now, the beautiful lantern popcorn bucket. And I knew that we were gonna have to get some merch. I know that everybody says I spoil him, but hey. Birthday, it's Wicked, it's fun for me to be the fun, aunt getting to spoil. And we got this year, and they only had a few left, so we got there right in time. It's the Wicked popcorn bucket that's also a music box, and it actually plays for good. So we got that, and it came with 2 large popcorns that basically look it's bigger than our trash can in the bathroom. That's how big these buckets of popcorn were.
What a great comparison.
I'm starting to think I was ripped off last year because I had to pay for my popcorn separately with a popcorn bucket, which didn't make sense to me. And this year, it comes with 2 free larges. And I'm like, oh, how much bigger can a large be than a medium? Because I always get a small or a medium popcorn. I'm telling you, I eat that much of it. I'm making a reference with my hands, barely a dent. So we got that. Oh, and we had to get the plushies, of course. So, but they didn't have any Glenda or Alfie, so we got the Scarecrow, or I guess if you haven't seen Wicked yet, I won't spoil that for you, but the musical's over 20 years old. You should know who the Scarecrow becomes from Wicked. So we got that, and then Theme Food hates to see me coming. Truly hates it. They had those Dippin' Dots. Remember how when I went to Stitch, I told you I got those Dippin' Dots that were pineapple themed?
Yeah.
They had a watermelon limeade, which was the green and pink. These weren't as good as the pineapple ones, but they were pretty. I'm starting to think Dippin' Dots, a little container of it hits. And I was like, okay, we're going to do that. We're not going to do the ices again. But then when your nephew's like, oh, we should really get the ices too, because I have to get one for Alphaba and you have to get one for Glenda. And I'm like, oh, twist my arm. So we also got those. And the ices were better this year. They were really good. But I'm sure.
A good icy, branded icy.
It really.
Not that rip-off crap.
It's the icy branded icy. I think the Glenda one was strawberry lemonade, and that's what I had. And then I think it was green apple for Alphaba, which I didn't finish mine, and Gavin finished mine, and he said both were very good. So, but when it comes to the movie itself, this is the Act 2 of the musical, and I feel like people that aren't really familiar with the source material might have not been ready at just how much darker this one is and how much sadder it is, but it's still incredible. And I thought they did such a good job. Like I said, I packed those little mini tissue packs. I went through 2 full mini tissue packs and 1 tissue pack alone just in the For Good scene. at the end where they're saying,
None of this information surprises me whatsoever.
But I didn't expect to like just weep the way like I cried, and I was already crying with like in 5 minutes to the start of the movie. Like when you see like Alphaba out and like Glinda, and you know like about 5 years has passed between the events of the first movie and this one. So they don't explicitly say the time jump, but you know, it's indicated that about, you know, some time has gone on. So I'm like already starting to cry. I'm like, oh, I'm in for it. I'm in for it. One of the new songs that they added just for the movie, I think it's called There's No Place Like Home. I cried at that. Like the tones of that song in particular, I feel like really hit home to things that are going on, you know, in our country, like the way people feel. And it was, for anybody that says like, oh, you know, it's just a movie, it's not like quote unquote political. I think all art can be determined as political, and I felt like that song in particular probably meant a lot to a lot of people.
Sure.
So the song, I want to make sure that I got the actual name of the song right. Why is it playing this one? And the song is No Place Like Home. That is the name of the new song. And then the other song that they added is The Girl in the Bubble. And I thought they were both really good original songs. I'd say No Place Like Home probably had they both had meaning to it. But I think that some people were wondering about like what the songs that they added would be and if they'd be good, and I thought they were great. I think when it comes to people are like, which part did you like better? That's a tough question, because to me, it's one big movie. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how I see Avengers.
Yeah.
Like Infinity Wars and Endgame. Like it's
just one movie.
Like it's one movie to me. But if you're I came out of each one of them feeling different, like a different headspace. Like you feel just like, yes, like I want to just go like take on the world at the end of Act 1 when you hear Defying Gravity. This one you come out and you're like, I'm so emotional. I'm so sad, because it's like I have sadness that something that I've looked forward to and it's been like something I've been enjoying for like over a year, like almost 2 years is over, but like also just the sadness of the movie and what happens at the end of the characters and kind of that bittersweetness of it. So you walk away feeling very different. Do you have something to say?
No.
You're like you started like holding in your breath.
No, I have a Lord of the Rings reference, but you can finish your thought. I was just gonna say that like this is the same story. This is really just one long story in the same way like the Lord of the Rings is one thing.
Yes.
Like yeah, you can say, oh, I like the Fellowship better than I like Two Towers or whatever, but at the end of the day, they're really one. But yeah, they're one continuous story that is meant to be taken in at one time. Yeah. And so similar with Wicked, it's really saying, oh, I liked one versus the other. It's like, yeah, but I mean, it's really the same thing.
And like I said, I think that the choice to split them was the right choice, because I felt like we got to have more depth. We got to dive more into like, you know, the Gelfie relationship. I feel like it would have, if they had tried to put everything in one movie and cut it down for, you know, I doubt that the cinema would have probably let them go over 3 hours. Like I feel like it would have felt very, very rushed. Act 1, when it comes to the songs, those are definitely, I feel like the songs are more popular, you could say. La, 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 la.
We don't need to do that.
Like the songs that when you think about Wicked are mostly the Act 1 songs, because obviously Defying Gravity, like that's the big one that everybody thinks about, popular, One Short Day, The Wizard and I. So a lot of like your fun, more upbeat songs, because it's a more upbeat time. They're younger, the story's getting started, they're at school, but when you go into Act 2, obviously at this point, Alphaba is just completely outcast. They're putting out all these, what is the word I'm looking for? Propaganda about how she's the Wicked Witch. Haven't you heard? I'm the Wicked Witch of the West. She and Glinda have been separated. They're out of school. There's darkness going on in Oz. A lot has happened. So there's less of that, you know, happy uplifting songs, except for, you know, the Thank Goodness number still has that uplifting beat. But when you listen to the lyrics of it and you see Glinda singing, you see what, you know, she's kind of putting on this public persona right now, but does she really believe in it? She knows that Alphaba's out there. She knows that Fiero's just probably not really that into her. And it's almost like, you know, I couldn't be happier. So it's just like that sense of melancholy. And this, if you like ballads, though, like Act 2 is your jam. I feel like my very favorite song of all time from Wicked, which is For Good, which Wicked for Good, comes from Act 2. I also really like No Good Deed and As Long as You're Mine. So when I think about it, I feel like, again, it's vibes based. For me personally, I kind of like some of the songs because I like the power ballads. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, obviously, I've been singing As Long as You're Mine, like, constantly, even before it started. And I have to say, Sexiest Man of the Year, Jonathan Bailey, delivered. I have been so excited to see him and Cynthia sing As Long as You're Mine. And it was, chef's kiss. I was looking around, the other ladies in the theater, we were all like, oh, so good. Nothing. He does Yearning so well as Anthony Bridgerton. Oh, as Fierro. Oh, so good. So good. Just, it was like when you want, like you anticipate something and then you get to see it on screen. And they did keep it PG because the movie is PG, but it was still hot. You know what I mean? And the chemistry.
Absolutely. Of course I do.
The chemistry was chemistry. I mean, ultimately, I'm a Gelfie shipper, but like the Elphaba Fierro when they do As Long as You're Mine, just wonderful. Cynthia Erivo, once again, knocked it out of the park. No Good Deed had me like in chills. Like, that's her big number after basically everything's going to crap. And she's like, no good deed goes unpunished or whatever. And she's just going off. And I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I almost feel like she did better with No Good Deed than Defying Gravity when she did incredible with Defying Gravity. I mean, you've seen part 1 because you've watched that movie with me here at the house. So she did amazing with that, but I feel like she nailed it. Ariana Grande, I think they should both get Oscars, but like the second half was kind of more of like Glinda's movie. If she does not get an Oscar, I'm going to be super mad because she gave it everything. Ariana Grande, and I said this about part 1, she became Glinda. Like, she immersified herself in that role. Talk about taking something, going after your dreams. She's always wanted to be Glinda since she was like 10 because she grew up a theater kid, and just putting your all into that. And you can just tell, you can really tell with all of them, especially the 2 leads, how much this meant to them to be in these iconic roles, and they both did it justice. And for me, like, that is my Elphaba and that is my Glinda. And I think that, and I've heard people that seen the Broadway show several times share that sentiment now, and that's a testament to how well it's done, because people are very critical when it takes, especially translating like a beloved Broadway musical to a movie. And I've seen some minor criticisms, but for the most part, I feel like everybody that loves Wicked was very satisfied. I think some of the only critiques that I've really seen from some people were they just weren't expecting just such a more of a melancholy tone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I mean, that has to be coming from people who weren't familiar with the Broadway play,
with like the
right?
source
Because,
material.
This very much followed the Broadway play.
Yeah.
Close enough that like anybody that's familiar with it was not surprised, shouldn't have been surprised.
They shouldn't have been surprised
where it went.
It was really fun for me. I don't want to, again, I know we're a spoiler podcast, but since just the movie just came out, in case people don't know, I'm not going to reveal everything, but my nephew didn't know one big major plot point at the very end, and I hadn't told him that. So I just wanted to see his reaction, and he was like, yes, I knew it. And it was so fun just to see him react. You know, it's like fun where you watch me reacting to like your precious Star Trek movies, which I'll be watching with you on Friday. You know, where you see it through the eyes of somebody else.
Yeah, well, that's great.
Like, he really enjoyed, I really enjoyed him enjoying that. But the For Good number, oh my gosh. I thought I thought I was ready. I was not. Those two, and I hear that they have this one pivotal scene with like a door in between them, and I've heard that all of that is improvised. They tell each other that they like, I love you. I heard that was improvised, and John Chu, the director, kept it in. I mean, I don't think there was really a dry eye in the house. Everybody in my theater at the end of the show also clapped. Like, that's how you know. I feel like, except for the very front, like, break your neck, like, seats, our theater was, like, totally packed. And just, you could, like, we had a good crowd. Like, everyone was locked in to watch it, but it wasn't like Superman where everybody was being disruptive around us. Like, people were there to see Wicked end of story, and everybody clapped. But like after the movie, I went to the bathroom, and me and like several other ladies are just like wiping our eyes, and we're still crying. And I was like, yeah, Gavin, when I'm with the ladies, we always talk, because before the movie started, I also saw somebody else in the bathroom, was like, oh, I love your sweater, where'd you get it? I'm like, oh, Target. And I'm like, oh, sorry, Gavin, I was having a conversation about fashion before the movie, and then I was talking to everybody that was crying in the bathroom after the movie. And then I also have to give credit to Ethan Slater, who plays Bach. I see now. I now know why they cast him in this role. Like, I knew he was like a theater kid. He's the SpongeBob on Broadway kid, and he does sing in the first one, but in this one, he scared me a little. Like, he was that good. Everybody, put your hands over your ears right now, or because I'm going to spoil this part for you. You should know it by now. The movie's 20 years old. And even in the promo material, you can tell. So Bach becomes the Tin Man. And that whole like transformation of him becoming the Tin Man, and then the march of the witches. And he's like, I've got a score to settle with Hufflepuff. I mean, the witch. Like, I'd say if you're bringing kids to this, that's like the one thing that I would say would be scary. Like, I was like almost like I couldn't almost breathe. Like, he just gave a great performance. So I think he's gotten a lot of hate online for, some of the personal stuff going on. Well done. Like, I see why he was cast. He was definitely other than Ariana and Cynthia, was the standout performer for me in this movie. But it was great. Like, if I had to choose which movie I enjoyed best, was it part 1 or part 2? Like I said, I'm thinking of it as one big thing. I probably would go with part 1 just because it's a little happier, and I cried so much more in part 2. But it's so hard for me to choose.
I get it.
It's so hard because they're both so good, and I loved it. After the movie, we went to a store called Five Below. Have you ever been to Five Below?
I have not.
It's like a Dollar General, but with like a bunch of other crap and no organization, nothing. And I feel like everybody in the entire Mid-Ohio Valley was there at the same time. I told Gavin, I'm like, yeah, I'm never coming here with you again. But I did buy him a Wicked sign that he really wanted. None of the Wicked merchandise was in the same place. It was all over everything. Like, it would have been, the whole time I'm in there, I'm like, this would be Daniel's nightmare. And then you get in like one single line to go to a bunch of registers up front. So we waited in line like that, snaked around for like 15 minutes. You're welcome that I could not find the Wicked wrapping paper that they had, because I was going to buy it and be like, this is what I want to wrap all my gifts in for the holidays. But it's great. I loved Wicked. You will be watching as soon as it comes out on digital release, Blu-ray, whatever, you will watch it. How does it feel now that you get to listen to part 2 of the soundtrack constantly? You've heard it me listening to Broadway, but now you're getting the movie.
It's just amazing.
It is
I'm
amazing.
sure I have many, many more months of it to look forward to.
I intentionally held off on listening to because I think that soundtrack actually dropped like Thursday. And I did not, I wanted to hear all the songs in full for the first time in the movie. Do you have any idea how hard that was for me to do? To hold off on that?
The intestinal fortitude you must have.
And then on my way home, I missed my exit because I was singing "As Long as You're Mine." Okay, it was really because there was a big car in front of me, and I couldn't see. And then by the time I turned, I screwed up. So then I had to drive an extra 20 minutes. But like once I got home, I started telling you more of the story. I was like, got to Jonathan Bailey's part, and then I was giving. Have you never given a car performance like in the car by yourself when you're just singing?
I don't think so, no.
You're truly missing out. Jeff Goldblum again, wizard, slimy, perfect. Even you've agreed that he's the perfect casting, right?
Yes, he is.
I feel like I could talk about Wicked for good
but
for
we're not
forever,
so,
but we won't.
Speaking of Five Below and the pits and depths of hell, we have some more Hallmark Netflix Christmas movies for you.
We do.
Only 3 this time, and thankfully I only was subjugated to 2 of them. Do you want to talk? It looks from the list, you've got the one. I don't recognize the name of the first one, so you must have watched that one by yourself.
I did.
How was the Hallmark Christmas movie Tidings for the season?
You watched part of that with me. Remember at the beginning, and then you pieced out. It was the one with Tamara Mowry of Tia and Tamara, this from Sister Sister, and her son wants to be.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So they're like I think they're not in Chicago. That's where his job opportunity was. You had me thinking they were in the wrong city. I don't know why I listened.
I wasn't watching the movie, so I don't know why you were listening to me. Yeah,
I think they're like in Minnesota or something, but he's a newscaster, and he basically, because the news is just depressing all the time, she's like ugh, I hate him. I wish he would tell fun stories. But her son, she's a single mother, and her son, remember, he wants to be
weirdly obsessed with being a news anchor for a kid of that age. I can't speak because I don't have kids, but anybody out there that's got kids of a certain age, probably 10-ish, are they watching the evening news?
I used to watch the evening news. My parents made me at dinner.
Okay, well, you're an outlier.
But I wasn't like that kid, but I did used to practice in the mirror my anchor voice. Is that weird?
Let's hear your anchor voice.
Well,
you can't say you got an anchor voice. You can't say you've got an anchor voice.
Welcome to We Watch TV Podcast, the podcast where we watch TV. I am Hope, and this is Daniel. Stay tuned. The weather is looking. I was never going to be a weather girl. I don't know. You should try. Well, you got to be something and then I don't know. Give me something like somebody. I don't want give me something like a sad story, but don't make it too sad.
I immediately went to the Joker thing.
No, you can't do that. Sources are saying that this year prices have increased, and the average American family is going to find it hard to have their Thanksgiving feast.
Gosh.
But over at the community park, they're having a turkey trot. Back to you, John. How are those trotters burning off those calories? Because those people can't afford to eat. No, I'm just kidding. That got dark. You're completely distracting me. But anyway, the kid is really into it, and he convinces their school to do a tour. So he buddies up to this guy, and he's like, yeah, my mom doesn't like you. He thinks you should tell fun stories. Then the producer guy is like, hey, I think this would be cool to make him our intern. So and obviously, he starts rizzing up the single mom, and he realizes what it's like to tell a fun story. And I can tell you, as somebody who used to work in media, and my specialty was feature stories, that's why I liked it. I did kind of resonate with that. Because I believe, especially when it comes to local media, that you get enough of the depressing stuff with national news, and that sometimes you want to read, you want to either read them or watch the feel-good stories to see what good people are doing, because not everything has to be negative and terrible and awful. You get enough of that on national coverage. So I actually did what the premise of the movie was. But then there's one part that confused me, because he does start doing the stories, and his producer guy, who was very cute, by the way, I'm I want to spin off of this man. He was you can't, people want to, hear about all the crap. This is going to tank our ratings. The station is in trouble. And he's on the side. He's also up for this other job in Chicago. So then he's like, why don't he, so he decides to, roll the tape, do the story anyway. And then they're like, why don't you take a vacation? So a forced vacation. So they get to go do some Christmas activities together. But then turns out, everybody likes the mom, we like the good stories, and the ratings go up. So they call him, they're like, vacation's over, come back to work. And then the big, whole kind of, how they have their conflict, they're like, oh no, is because he does get offered that job, and he goes to interview, and she's like, I can't have my son around, you, because I thought you'd be in our lives. This is why I haven't dated or something. I don't really know. I wasn't paying that much attention. She wanted to say she was talking a bunch of crap about how I don't listen. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention.
She's giving me crap. It was all right. It was the classic Hallmark formula. You saw bits and pieces of it. What do you think about what you saw?
The kid actor was the best actor in the movie.
Okay, Tamara Mowry is a good actress.
Okay, well, the kid was better than the main male lead.
Than the anchor man.
I didn't buy him as an anchor. He may be a fine actor, but just he didn't have a voice that said anchor.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Give me your best.
I don't. I can't.
People have told me before that you have a good radio voice.
I don't know what those people are on, but I would like some.
What about when I do the at Theranos?
We don't need to do that. All right, next up, we're going to skip on over to Netflix for a moment. And we're going to talk about champagne problems.
Not the Taylor Swift song, the movie.
They did not play the Taylor Swift song in the movie.
They probably didn't want to buy the rights to use it.
Would have been the whole budget of the movie.
This starred Minka Kelly, who is best known as Lila Garrity from Friday Night Lights, one of the greatest shows of all time. Clear Eyes, Full Hearts, Can't Lose. And since I had to do the synopsis for Tidings for the season, and I don't pay attention as much as you apparently to the movies I supposedly like, and I've talked so much on this podcast already.
Half an hour almost.
I could talk about Wicked for like 3 years. Oh my gosh.
Should I just leave you in a room and you can just talk about Wicked and then I'll come back?
Why don't you talk about champagne problems?
Okay, so the plot of this movie is as follows. The lead woman, what's her name? Do we know the character's name?
I totally forget her name.
It's a good podcast, everybody. She works for
I don't remember her name at
She
all.
works for some sort of private equity firm or something, a company. They buy up other companies and do stuff with them and stuff like that. And she's trying to prove herself to her boss. And finally, she gets the opportunity because he's going to send her to France. They're buying a champagne winery and a champagnery.
She has a sister.
She has a sister. It doesn't matter. She supports her sister. Whatever.
Yeah, but her sister is the one that tells her, oh my gosh, you're so bad at this now. Her sister is the one that's like, while you're in Paris, make sure you do something fun. And this kind of got on my nerves because like it's clear the sister has not had direction in life. And she's, ironically at like a spin class, like sipping on her Frappuccino, barely working out. And you can tell she doesn't work or do anything to pay these bills and that the sister is taking care of her all her life. And it's fun to be like, I'm so irresponsible. I'm not like other girls. I'm so cute and fun. But like, if sister wasn't paying your bills there, lady, you wouldn't be able to be like, just go be carefree. So that kind of bugged me. Go on.
So anyway, she takes her sister's advice to heart, goes to Paris, goes out, bones a French guy.
They meet at the bookstore. That bookstore looked cool.
The bookstore looked cool. And she ends up staying overnight in his apartment and then oversleeps for her meeting the next day with the French company she's supposed to buy. And oh, big surprise, when she gets in there, she sits down in the room. The owner of the is it a winery?
No, it's like a champagne thing.
So it's not, so you wouldn't call that a winery because champagne is wine.
I don't know what
I don't know. We're arguing about terminology. Anyways, he has all the other people who are bidding on his vineyard in the room,
Yeah.
and then the guy she just slept with the night before comes in, sits down, and we find out he's the son of the owner and the vice president of the company, and the reason he's having to sell.
Was his name Henri? Or am I just making up a French
The reason that he's having to sell is because the son isn't wanting to take over the business.
And she already knew because when they were bonding, he's like, my dad sucks.
Yeah.
Like, basically, so like the people that she's interviewing with, the other cast of characters are very important. You have the lady who's clearly been friends with the dad forever. She's like the uptight, classic, like woman. You have the party guy. He just likes to drink. He drinks and he knows things. And then I don't know what this actor's name is, but I remember that YouTube, Jennifer poops at parties. She's like a potty pooper. I
don't remember. He's a German actor.
He's funny though.
Yeah, I agree. So anyways, they all end up at the owner's house,
like estate
in Champagne region of France.
Which, by the way, Daniel's like, they better be real champagne because champagne comes from a certain place. And then they actually, literally, as you made that remark, they clocked you and said it.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, quickly, the rest of the movie takes place in that chateau in the Champagne region.
Chateau?
But yeah, it's a big castle. It's a big house. But before we leave Paris, I have notes, and so we need to talk about the notes. We need to talk about notes in geographic order. And so when she still doesn't know that the son is who she's meeting with, and they're just, doing their flirty thing, and they're walking through Paris, and they walk across the bridge, I stop the conversation. I pause the movie and go, is that the bridge that? And then Hope interrupts me. And what did you say? When you interrupted me, you were like...
I was like Belly and Conrad, carrying big. Like thinking about these like iconic, wonderful couple moments that I've seen that same shot used in Paris.
Yeah, and I said, no, is that the bridge that Russell Crowe threw himself off of in Les Mis?
Because of course she wouldn't remember. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud.
So, anyways, I thought
We
that
got
was
a pretty
fun.
good laugh at the time.
Well, we enjoy, you know what,
It's
everybody?
funny in the moment.
We entertain each other, and that's all that matters. So, anyways, they're out there. They do a bunch of. They're out at the chateau. They do a bunch of Christmas related activities.
She is lactose intolerant. She eats a lot of cheese, and she has the farts.
Yeah. They dress.
There's a cute dog.
They decorate the Christmas tree, and the drunk guy decorates it all, gaudy, and then the German guy on his side of the tree, he just puts one ornament on there, and there's like, my theme is malaise.
Malaise, because I was like, why is he only putting one bulb on that?
And he also says, many people consider me to be bleak.
It was really funny.
It was really funny at the time.
You should watch it.
Anyways, he was very entertaining.
But you could tell he liked that he was getting friends and added to the group chat.
Yes.
Like, the side characters were fun. This was a better movie.
Yeah.
And you said it too. You said it was better than 5.
I'm not done with the synopsis yet.
Okay.
So there's conflict between the father and the son, because the father obviously does not want to sell the vineyard, but the son does not want to run the vineyard.
Yeah.
And so there's a bunch of conflict there. And then the people are bidding for it, and then come to find out, the main lady's company sends another guy when they start to feel like maybe she's not going to be able to close this thing down.
Yeah.
And a conversation is heard where the company's just going to do what they've done so many other times when it comes to private equity.
Yeah,
they're just going
to
take it apart, and it's not going to be the same thing anymore.
Corporate America,
after
y'all.
it gets purchased. And so the male actor lead, sorry, I don't remember anybody's name from this movie.
The hot
overhears
French guy.
it. He gets upset. She hears that he's upset. So she goes do her own thing. Well, turns out they decide they all get together, and the drunk guy buys the place, but then he's not going to actually run it at all. He's going to let them keep running it. He's just going to provide the financing to get it out of debt.
Yeah.
And
she
everybody turns out happy.
They get together, and then they end up running their own bookstore, which is in the guest house at the side of the chateau.
Yep.
Because when you're already rich and you can easily start your own business, easy peasy. And then it seems like the sister, who has no direction in life, joins her in Paris, and she and the Malaise guy kind of have a winky wink. The dad, because his mom was and that was a part of their contention. She seemed to die a while ago. And it seemed to me like they were indicating that something had happened to the dad and the one woman that they had known forever. That woman started off, she made that girl eat all that cheese. I would have been like, I'm not eating this cheese. I'm lactose intolerant. But I guess she really wanted to close the sale or whatever. So, I like how doing it exists in the Netflix movies, but it does not exist in the Hallmark movies.
So I will say, and again, I am keeping to my promise I made recently, because this is not a Hallmark movie. I can say this with a clear conscience. This was good.
Well, yeah, it was a good movie. It was funny. I liked the side characters. I felt like the two leads had actual chemistry. Yeah. I bought that they had that really fun night, and then, what are the odds when he shows up? I am mad she never got to eat that baguette that he brought her.
Yeah, but it's not
Did
just
you see that baguette?
Yeah, and it's not just that the romantic leads had chemistry, but the side plots and everything that came into it, the plot with the dad and the son was meaningful. The plot, all those different plots
actually
meant
had
something
meaning.
And had context to them that added to the story versus what we're going to talk about after this one.
And again, you've really glazed over this when I've asked you about it, because you were talking about it a lot during it. I need you to talk to me about that baguette. You keep yeah. You and I had a pause the movie 5-minute conversation about how much we like a good baguette.
I love a good baguette. Yeah.
And they never got to eat it.
I know, it's a shame. It's is this going to go up there? Okay, where does this rank on your list of uneaten Christmas foods? Obviously, I know what's at the top of the list.
Home Alone, the mac and cheese.
Okay, but where's that out? Does this one fall in the top 5 of Christmas foods uneaten?
What would the other ones be?
I don't know. Maybe this is 1 and 2.
I mean, I do kind of weirdly think Buddy the Elf's mixture looks good.
He ate that, though. We saw him eat it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't really think of you're losing me here. I know, the Home Alone thing is the only thing I complain about. So, yeah, maybe.
Well, you complain about it enough, so.
Because it's frustrating. Kevin could have at least taken one bite of it, before he went off. It's just, It's honestly the best macaroni and cheese
If you
dinner
have
I've ever seen.
Netflix, if you have a Netflix,
And guess what, Daniel? Kevin was eating macaroni and cheese for his meal, not as a side, because it can be a full meal.
Kevin was a child.
So,
if you have Netflix
Depends on what
and you are
randoms.
looking for a good Christmas movie, I put, give Champagne Problems a watch. You'll be entertained at least.
because it's better than fine, and
It's
it was
not going to
good.
be on. It's not on my every year list,
Yeah.
but it was good enough to get me through. And now we go back to Hallmark.
Yeah, this was a
For
bad movie.
One of the worst Hallmark Christmas movies I've ever seen.
Same. It was
And-
called Holiday Touchdown, a Bills love story. So they've partnered with the NFL or something. So last year it was the Chiefs. This year is the Bills. I'm going to have to just write the script for my Steelers one, I guess. I don't even, this movie
I don't
was
know
not
how to
good.
describe the plot to this movie. The two leads are
Like neighbors.
neighborhood, childhood friends, etc. By the way, before I start, I just have to say this: every actor in this movie is attempting what I can only assume to be a northern, western New York accent, a Buffalo style accent. I guess I don't know. I'm not familiar with
I don't
Buffalo
think the girl
people.
was attempting.
The male lead was, and poorly, and it made everyone sound ridiculous.
Aren't you going to talk about how Santa is the same Santa
No, I'll get
from the
there.
first
I'll get
one?
there. I'll get there. Okay, so, and he's
Pencil
also,
Man.
and they also like the story revolves around the new stadium they're building, and so he works for a company that's working on the new stadium, and she is a doctor.
Yeah, but she's at home she lives in
She's-
Buffalo,
she's-
so is she kicking around at the house? I was
don't
very
know.
confused
She's
about
hanging
her
around
living
at home,
situation.
and their families like living together, so they always take a picture at Christmas time at the Bills game that's around Christmas, and they have an Uncle Tommy, and
He was like her father figure.
he
when
was
her
like a
dad
father
died,
figure
yeah.
because her dad died, and he moved in and took care of him, and then they find out he gets like a random weird anonymous Christmas present every
Ornament.
year,
Yeah.
and then he tells them the story about how when he went off to Nam, that he like
Because she had a single
somebody,
mother.
somebody
six
started
kids.
sending money and stuff over to his mom to help take care of him, and because he couldn't, because he was the one working with the job, and then he got drafted and sent off. And
I
when
thought they were sending money before he went to Nam,
no,
like when he was
when
kids.
he left.
How you pay attention to these more than I do? I zone out.
So then, anyways, he gets back and is able to get a job and blah blah blah, but he still gets a Christmas present every year. And so the two leads are like, oh, wouldn't it be really cool if we were able to track this person down
Who wants
so
to
he
be
could-
anonymous.
so he could say thank you. And also, it's also a ruse because the male lead has had feelings for her for a long time, but has never said anything on it. And that's kind of like a central theme of the movie, is that he can't commit, and everybody knows it,
Yeah.
except for those two. So, anyways, they go to this store and they try to track down the ornament from the 70s, and with this whole receipt game that just seems
Did people
insane
write
to
their
me.
names and addresses on their receipts in the 70s? And like their private information?
I don't know.
Is it real?
And they get a bunch of people from the Bills, I guess. I'm not a Bills fan. I'm not familiar with them. So
Bills Mafia. Like the coach was in it. Some of all the Bills actors were better than the Hallmark actors.
Oh yeah, for sure. They track down. They find this lady who Tommy had been dating before he went off to Nam, and
Her sister still lives in town.
her sister still lives in town. They go to the sister's house. Mia happens to be there,
Oh, you remember her name?
and then the only person's name in the movie I remember.
Wow! I don't remember any of the names.
I remember Tommy and Mia. That's the story I remember. They should have just done the movie about that, because I did not care about the other two.
I don't care for Joe.
I did not care about them at all.
Me either. They had
They
no
had
chemistry.
Nothing. They
no
had
chemistry.
Nothing. It was just like two rocks bashing together trying to get a
Maybe
spark.
they hooked up. But Joey, do I have any chemistry with the people I work with? No!
No!
Hey, does this Orson Welles guy direct Burger King commercials?
Yes. So, anyways, then they go to the game and they do this whole thing on the field and reveal that Tommy knows it was Mia, and then they go kiss on the field and they have a nice time. And then the sister, who we didn't even bring up,
Her personality was, I am pregnant.
yeah, I am pregnant, and she goes into labor while they're watching the game, so they go to the hospital and have the baby and blah, 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 blah. And then eventually the construction guy, male lead, gets them back into the old stadium so they can take their picture with a bunch of people.
Architect.
And then they kiss there, and yay, happiness.
You're missing major stuff, because I have some questions, Hallmark. So they have this group of friends.
Oh.
Has Hallmark introduced a throuple to the mix? Because it was this lady, another man, and another man, and they were always on screen. I know they were like presented as like the main couple's like friends.
I'm not going to say
But they were
why.
all at the same house together, like when they went over to figure, because the woman was like a social media like person, can like stalk people, and that's how they were able to find Mia. And I'm like, okay, both of the men are is this a throuple? Like, I don't know which one was her husband. I don't know were they all roommates? Wink, wink. They were just roommates. Like, was it a throuple? Like, I'm confused. I was like, even like, what was up with that?
They did not address it. Okay.
It was weird.
So now woven into this movie, more than any other Hallmark, more than the Chiefs one last year, they had the same Santa from the Chiefs movie last year. And he was here often. Too often.
Constantly. Is
And
he
then,
like the Santa, the official Santa of the NFL?
And I don't know. And then now
They
we
should have cast Roger Goodell as Santa.
And now we have his Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, which we clocked that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, first we thought she might, and we were like, no, she's too old for Mia. Then I was like, oh my gosh, is she going to be Mrs. Claus? So the two leads from the first Chiefs movie, they show up in the beginning, cameo. I cannot believe that what they're doing in the Hallmark universe, where they're all showing up in movies. Daniel, you noticed him before I did. Who was the bartender, Daniel?
Pencil Man.
Pencil Man. Andrew Walker. Daniel's like, Pencil Man, and pauses the movie. I was like, why are we pausing this movie? Don't we want to get through it? It was not the best. Just no, I felt like the Chiefs one at least had more of a story. This one was just kind of like all over the place.
It makes the story about the Magic Christmas hat. The Magic Christmas playoff.
And I'm mad
hat
about that because the Steelers ended up losing to the Chiefs last year on Christmas.
Seemed way, way more feasible.
They also did more like Christmassy stuff. And like they didn't really do a lot of Christmas activities in this one. There was some caroling. Then every time I would start to be like, okay, we're getting somewhere. They tempted us with the Buffalo, like what the Bills like to do, like the tape, like
jump through the table. Yeah,
they tempted us twice,
but they
with
never
that.
did it, and that's annoying.
And then I guess that like Tommy and I think the other guy have both been in this. The Sopranos, the show? I've never watched that show.
Maybe. I don't know.
All I know is the one guy, I was like, oh, he was in The Secret Life of the American Teenager. I hope he knows that that's what I know him from. And then Joel's mom and also Pete's wife, who got sucked off on Ghost, Carol, she showed up in it.
Brand new sentences.
Yeah. It was a stinker. Like, it wasn't even very Christmassy. Anyway, I am going now, and you are into it too. Daniel and I are in the process of writing our own screenplay called Holiday Touchdown, maybe like a rival love story with the stealing my heart at Christmas or something, because I was like, I'm going to write one with the Steelers. Then I'm like, you know what, better yet, let's write like a rival thing. Steelers and Browns. They could go so many places, and you could have the like enemies to lovers trope, because I don't love the that they're always like, oh, well, I guess he really wasn't a big Chiefs fan in the first one. That's why that one was better. I just clocked it, because remember, he like worked for the team, but he wasn't like crazy about it. And there was that kind of like, you guys are like freaking weird. Whereas they were all just, I guess, the Bills Mafia. Sorry, y'all are wild. And like, they were all like, all of them were like super into it. And I think that foil helped at least make the other one a little like, because that guy was like, your family's strange, you know. And it would have just been more helpful to have like a foil like that. But anyway, are you excited about the screenplay that we're gonna write?
I only have one stipulation with the script, and when we get to filming, is that any extra in the movie that's performing some sort of service job, if it's a trash man, if it's a checkout register
like Tommy
guy,
Maddox is going to show up and work the deli.
If it's any kind of thing like that, a janitor.
Okay,
it has to be a former Browns quarterback from the list of people that have
you
been
got like what, like 40 plus of them to choose
from 99 to now. So
many. The possibilities are endless. I feel like
many of those guys have got to be looking for a check somewhere. So I
feel like Mike Tallman could deliver like an Oscar award-winning performance with his deadpan delivery for this. But yeah, I don't know what's up with these holiday, and I guess like I don't think the Chiefs are doing very good this year, right? Because people on my Hallmark subreddit have been like, Are the Bills going to be cursed now? Because now that they've done a movie.
Hopefully.
But we watched that so you guys don't have to. So speaking of Ghosts, we already talked about Carol from Ghosts. She's no longer on Ghosts. We did watch the most recent episode of Ghosts, and it was actually a Thanksgiving themed episode of Ghosts. I'm not sure they've done a Thanksgiving.
No, I don't think
yet.
so.
I've
did
never
like. We'll talk over it. Let's both say it at the same time. No. Do you want to go?
John Stamos. You go first.
I did like how they did an episode of Ghosts. They haven't done a Thanksgiving theme yet, and so the very first thing they did at the beginning of the episode was address Sasapi.
Yeah. Like, is it okay?
Is it okay that we have Thanksgiving?
Well, I was gonna say that they called it planes, trains, and automobiles or something, because there's planes, trains, and automobiles, a movie I've never seen, but apparently it's like a Thanksgiving movie. I'm like, so's Rocky then. Rocky and Adrian take their first date on Thanksgiving. The Rocky movies.
Think I haven't.
If people
seen,
are calling Die Hard a Christmas movie,
I
can call Rocky a Thanksgiving
planes,
movie.
Trains, and automobiles, but I think the synopsis of the movie is he's trying to get home for Thanksgiving.
Anyway,
I think that's a little bit more Thanksgiving
if we
oriented
can call
than
Die
Rocky.
Hard Christmas, we can call Rocky a Thanksgiving movie. But anyway, I like that how because Sam and Pete, he's like a traveling ghost, that's his power, so he could go with her, and she's doing like the book tour. So she's kind of off. They're off, they're doing their own thing. So they had that about how she had to get home.
Yeah.
Then they had the guy from Superstore, who's the other guy, human, that can see all the ghosts. He shows up because Jay's like, I'm not going to be the ghost butler the whole time. And I think that Sam does too much for them. Like, it's great that they definitely take advantage. But that was funny. Because I remember, I do remember he hit on Sam in that one episode. But I don't think it was really romantic. I think he was just like, oh, somebody else that can talk to ghosts. And they
they don't go very dark on it in this show very often, but he kind of represents how being able to see ghosts could be a really terrible, terrible power.
I'm disappointed there were no airport ghosts.
Yeah, they didn't have any. They must be losing budget or something. I don't know. So, all right.
Cute.
Well,
Nice
listen, we're long into this episode, and there's still a very major rant to come. So let's just go ahead and give it out of the way. Dancing with the Stars semifinals has been in the books. Tonight is the finals. What are the five? Who are the five couples that are going to be in the finals here tonight? We've got.
Well, we have Robert Irwin, he's probably going to win, and it would be deserved to win. Is he the best dancer? No, I would call him the fourth best of this left, but usually the best dancer doesn't win. We have Alex Earle, who is a good dancer, but her fans have really showed up to be kind of crazy.
Rattle them off here, Hope. Come on.
We have Elaine Hendricks. Yay, Elaine! Very excited. Love Elaine. Justice for Meredith Blake. We have Jordan Childs, who has been chronically underscored all season, so I'm very happy she is in the finals. I think she and Ezra could have really potential. They're getting to do a paso. I'm really excited to see their paso. And then I think that their freestyle could be really good. And this is Ezra's first finals. He's the only pro that has never done the finals before, so that's pretty cool. And then Mr. Danny dances around him. That's all you look at the whole time. But he pulled out. Zac Efron finally showed up, y'all. We have Dylan Efron.
Who?
Dylan Efron, who does not seem to move very much on stage, but he made it in. And I think Dylan Efron, I stand by what I said. I think he's still going to get at least third place. But all I see is Danny when they dance. And it is hard to be a woman on the show. The women, and you as a man, do you agree with me that the women have to do so much more? Because when you're a male pro, your female dancers, they can dance around you, they can make you look good, but your eyes are typically on the woman.
I agree. Yeah.
Every year on the show, it seems like the women are chronically underscored. They have to work 10 times harder, and I always call it the Facebook wine moms always seem to hate the women. And this season, that's always been a thing. But this season has been, I think I've touched on this before, it's been particularly annoying with some of the new fans and the toxicity in the fan base. I've seen some contestants, people complain about stuff before. That happens every year. But I've never seen it just like such level of vile hatred and bullying that has occurred. I really think Hilaria Baldwin might have had a point now. Like, did I like that she was on? No. I think there's always going to be people with dance experience unless you want watch a bunch of Andys that have zero experience moving around. And if you want to, this, fine. But they're always, in the entertainment industry, people are going to have dance experience. Whitney is not the only one this season that has dance experience. Alex does. Elaine does. let's see, Charlie D'Amelio before, one of the best dancers I've ever seen, Dance Experience. So that's nothing new, as much as people want to make it a thing. So people are always going to gripe and complain about that. But this year, it's just, like, and with Hilaria, like, one of the reasons, again, why I will say, like, I disagreed with her casting was because she was actually ballroom trained. She competed against Emma Slater and beat her in a competition. That's very different than Whitney as a child dancing at a rival studio to the pro Whitney Carson. That's when they were like kids. Like, you're in Utah, a bunch of people are going to dance out there. Full stop. But I'm starting to think that Hilaria had a point about like some of the online bullying and discourse. I know Andy felt it a little bit, but Whitney from The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, I feel like got it worse than anybody else I've ever seen on this show. Ever. Like, it was so bad. And every week I would see, like, on the Dancing with the Stars Instagram or the Facebook post, and then especially TikTok, just like so many negative comments about her. People would come up with, and they started like dragging Mark too. I never thought I would see the day where Mark Ballas would be dragged as a pro. They're like, oh, he gets favoritism. Let me tell you this. If anyone is favorited on this show, it's Robert Irwin. Do I think that Robert doesn't? Of course not. I think Robert deserves to win. But, like, I do not. I think that was just, again, people reaching. And it kind of, like, was a very distracting vibe to the show for me. You only watch it with me. You don't engage on the online stuff, so you're not seeing it the same way I do. And people could be like, oh, well, just don't get online then. But that's one of my favorite things to do after the show is to get on there and see what people are saying and kind of interact with that community of watchers. Well, this year, it's just, it was bad. Like, I honestly think the show should address it. Like, the bullying, like, even like Carrie Ann, one of the judges, we complain about Carrie Ann. We know she's always been inconsistent since the beginning of time, but she doesn't deserve to be made fun of for her appearance and receive death threats over a dancing show. Like, go touch grass. It's not that deep. But The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives aired, and a lot of people think that that's some of what Whitney said contributed to her lack of votes. I disagree. I think some people probably saw that and was like, but I think she's been getting hate every week, and I think some of the people that were hating on her used that as, oh, this is what she said on this show. Like, for that whole, it really talks about like groupthink mob mentality. But yeah, I'm going to say it right now. I think maybe some people were impacted by what she said, but not enough people watched that. Even though it's a huge reality show, I don't think not enough people watched that to be that impacted. And really, she came out looking pretty good at the end of the season. So I think that people use that as just their orchestrated campaign to get her off. It's one particular fan base that seems to be doing it the most, and that is Alex Earl's fans. Alex is a great dancer. I voted for Alex quite a few times this season, but I'm gonna call out some, like, and I'm saying all the fan bases, even the Whitney fans, probably even maybe the Elaine and Jordan fans. There's always bad apples in every bunch, but the majority of that smear campaign that was targeted to get Whitney off the show came from that fan base. And do better, people. And a lot of them have never watched the show before. They viewed Whitney as a threat, and just they like, oh, we have to get the mean girl off the show. And I'm like, so you basically, no, you were the mean girls. When I don't love Dylan Efron, but I don't make TikToks making fun of him. I don't comment hateful things. I don't have him, actually romantic living rent-free in my head. I mean, shoot, I was extremely excited that Zac Efron finally showed up. Did it take Prince William, the future king of England, to make an appearance on Dancing with the Stars previously to get Zac to come? Maybe. Do I think that it was strict? Do I think Dylan's a lot smarter than all of us think? And that he was like, you know what, I'm going to pull out my brother. You can come for the semi. I mean, I have to applaud that, because that got more eyes. Zac Efron was like, hey, vote for my brother. Well played. You got to do what you got to do, because it's never been about the best dancer winning. So I've seen people say that are, so basically, if you haven't figured it out, Whitney got sent home. And I said I could see this happening based on what I'm seeing on TikTok. It doesn't mean that I wasn't furious about it. And guys, all she said on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives was she had left the mom talk thing because it is toxic. Like, may a friendship like that never find me. And she was basically like, yeah, I'll come back and film and do the show for Dancing with the Stars, because they offered it to her. Same girl, same. And why is it that when a woman is ambitious and goes after what she wants, everybody thinks that's a bad thing? Ask yourself that. Really ridiculous. Also, for every woman who's ever been told, like, they're too much, some people are like, oh, she's just too much, I just don't like her. I take that personally, because I have been told I'm too much, and you know what? So what? I feel like for so many years that I would try to tone down my personality, and why? I am who I am. You either like me, you don't, whatever. And Whitney was a great dancer. She was the best dancer on the show this season. Do you agree?
Yes,
Like,
I think
full stop.
up there. She was up there for sure, but yeah, she was in the 1 or 2, 3 people who could be the best dancer.
I think she was the best dancer for sure. And and the thing is, even those of us that like to watch good dancing, I know I predicted her as my early winner, but I still ultimately thought Robert was going to win. I was just trying to change it up from the obvious choice, which turned out to be more obvious. I was like, maybe we'll have a Charlie situation on our hands where people, because everybody that year like got really into, like, Charlie and Mark were putting out these great dances, and no one seemed to care about the experience, and people were like, oh, we really want to see Charlie D'Amelio win. Now, I don't think that cast was quite as stacked, but I thought, well, maybe Whitney could pull it off. She could, because she's going to be so good. I didn't realize that everybody would be like seeing her as a threat. So basically what people did was and people have done this before, it's nothing new, but where you vote for everybody but that person. That's part of the reason why Andy did. There are people that truly voted for Andy because they liked him, but that is one of the reasons why Andy stayed so long. You realize that, right? Because people were doing that tactic to try to get Whitney off the show. So it's not as voting for your favorites. It was like a literal targeted campaign. And then after everybody's making TikToks like, yay, we got her off the show. And the thing is, Whitney was never going to win. She wasn't. I would be really surprised if, I would be shocked. I think that the judges would have to give him bad scores for Robert not to win.
Let's wrap around to tonight's episode. Robert's winning, right?
Absolutely. Like, do I think that maybe Alex, who is the best dancer left, Alex Earle is the best dancer left on the show. Do I think she's winning? No. Do I think maybe a little bit more of a chance than I thought based off some of her army of fans, but they're mostly on TikTok and Instagram. Reddit still seems to be the same place. It's funny because I used to argue with people on Reddit, but then like we've all been like, what is up with all these new fans that are just so toxic? We would argue with like, oh, I like this dance better. Oh, I disagree with that score. We weren't like arguing about how someone's just a terrible person and they deserve to not have any happiness and joy in life.
And I think you already mentioned it earlier.
And I think that's why I'm so upset about it.
The voters, the new people, the people that are new to the show, those people, there's a very large silent majority of voters out there
that aren't chronically online.
The Facebook wine moms.
Yeah.
They're voting for Robert.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, overwhelmingly. They're going to be, maybe Dylan will get some of their attention too, but mostly they're going to be voting for Robert. I think Robert has this handily.
Lockdown. I still do.
Unless he just bombs his dances and gets bad scores.
And like, I'm talking like bad scores. Joey last year got Carrie Ann. Remember, she gave him a 9. Mm-hmm. She didn't get a perfect score on his freestyle. And he still won.
Yeah.
I think that, but just because we're saying too, because I've seen some Robert fans are getting a little sensitive about this. Just because we say it's Robert's to lose doesn't mean we don't think he deserves it. I think he's an entertaining dancer. I really am excited to see Whitney Carson get her second Mirrorball. So that's not taking away from, and they were like, he's worked hard. Everybody, Dylan Efron, everybody has worked hard up to this point. Everybody that's on that show works hard. So nothing. Saying that is not negative on Robert. I want that to be understood. I will be, if it was like anybody with a different personality, maybe that was like the win was locked and, I might be more salty about it. Be like, like it's locked in. Like, how boring is this? But because he's such a good guy, I think it'll be fun. I think for me, just seeing Whitney get voted off and after all the crap that it felt like the bullies won. That's what it felt like to me. It felt like the mean girl mentality. And I'm not saying, again, that Alex is mean. I think she's fine. But it probably wasn't all her fans, but a lot of them was her fan base. It felt like the bullying mentality won. And I feel like, for me, as somebody who's really liked to see Alex dance, like her Maleficent dance has been one of my favorites, I'm having a real hard time separating it right now because it made me that upset. You know what I mean? Because now some of that same fandom, they've been coming after Robert, saying that he uses, now this is a critic, saying that he uses the sympathy vote for his dad or whatever. And I feel like the show's always asking him about his dad. So, like, what is he supposed to do? Steve Irwin was, especially if you're like a millennial and he was huge. Like, we all grew up watching him. Like, so
that fan base is about to get a healthy dose of reality when because they think, oh, we got rid of Whitney, now we can turn our sights on Robert, because you've told me they've been very irritated when people say, well, Robert's going to win.
Oh, they're
really
like,
what
mad.
do you mean? No, Robert's going to win Period.
And they're like,
and there's nothing they can do to change it.
The person I have voted for every single week and I made you vote for is Elaine. So I am Team Elaine ultimately. But I liked seeing, I like to watch the show for good dancing. And I think that Whitney deserved to be in there over Dylan. But Dylan got the votes, pulled out Zac Efron. That's the way the cookie crumbles. My beef isn't that, the person I liked a lot got voted off. It's just the way it all went down is just icky to me, and it's really made me less excited to watch tonight. But I'm still gonna watch as usual. And they're doing they have to do 3 different dances tonight because it is a 3-hour finale. Is that really necessary?
Also, that sucks.
I think this is the way I think the order's gonna be. I think Robert, Alex, and then I think Dylan's gonna get 3rd, and then Jordan, Elaine I think is a toss up. I know a lot of Whitney people are giving their votes to Jordan and Elaine based off of what I've seen on social media. But it's just do better, guys. And I hope if these new fans stick around, they can. Maybe I need to touch grass too, because I let it affect my mood for 3 days.
I think you should, yes.
It really, really bothered me. It's just because Dancing with the Stars is like my escape. It's my fun show. And to see that toxicness in my fun show, it was upsetting to me. And they've robbed me of a Mark Ballas freestyle. And if Mark Ballas doesn't come back as a pro, shame on you guys. Do better. And stop knocking an ambitious woman. Stop it. Stop it.
All right, everybody. Well, that just about wraps it up for this week. A couple notes here. If you're wondering about the Special Forces finale, we haven't watched that yet. We're going to get to it here soon. So we will be talking about that next week. You also started a new show on Netflix over the weekend.
Not on Netflix.
It's on Hulu. Sorry.
Hulu. A viewer actually recommended this to us probably over a year ago. A couple viewers, and I finally got around to it. Tell Me Lies. I think the season 3 is dropping in January. Lord knows I've had enough TikTok recommendations for this. I'm shocked to you guys that it's taken me this long to start because I did not want to stop watching it last night. Some diabolical characters, but I will talk all about Tell Me Lies when I finish the first 2 seasons before we go into season 3. Don't you worry.
Yep. Of course, as all of you know, the big 800-pound gorilla of television, Stranger Things season 5, drops this week, or at least the first parts of it.
Drops tomorrow at 8 p.m.
The first parts of it. So we will be watching that and trying to get through everything they put out. And next week's episode, we will talk probably mostly about that. And then for the rest of that, because they drop an episode then on Christmas and New Year's.
Then they have the rest of the half on Christmas, and then the finale episode will be on New Year's.
Okay, so we'll hit that in January, and a lot of the other shows that are going to start dropping here in December.
Emily in Paris,
Fallout, a lot of that stuff.
Percy Jackson.
Yeah, we can't make any guarantees we're going to get to that stuff, so probably those are all going to be January conversations because we are, quickly approaching December and the end of the year, and it's here before we know it. So with that said, it is Thanksgiving, and you had one item on the schedule here to talk about, 2 actually, but we'll do the Friends thing first. So what are we doing with Friends?
Like as in the TV show?
The TV show, yes, not our personal friends.
Well, Friends, we are known for their iconic Thanksgiving episodes. Would you be able to rank them, like your favorite?
I couldn't.
Give me your best 3, at least then, of the Friends Thanksgiving episodes.
Okay, so I know this first one is controversial. The one that when they're all late, I really enjoy for some reason.
Season 10.
Yeah.
The floating heads.
That's not one that people like or point to, but I really like that.
While you're in there, throw something on Alicia May.
I just think that one's funny for some reason.
You won an adult Thanksgiving Day spelling bee? YES? Yes.
And
Fair
these are in no particular order, by the way.
Oh, they're not in particular order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, so the Brad Pitt one.
Oh, iconic.
Is great.
Season 8. The one with the rumor.
Yeah, the one with the rumor. And then I think, what was the one where
the
Chandler
eyes
got
did
high?
Still sparkle. That is my favorite one. That is season 6.
That is also
the one where Ross got high.
That's my top 3 for sure.
Season 6 is my favorite because you get the trifle. You get the one with Ross. I was all high and stuff. And Hurricane Gloria didn't break the porch swing. Monica did. And there's just so many liners from that. Walks in while you're changing. And then they wanted to introduce Thanksgiving to the hot girls. So many different funny bits from that one.
I mean, the one with the football
So
is
good.
very good as well, but
I love the one with the football from season 3. I think season 5, the one with all the Thanksgiving,
Joey,
is
where
just
did
funny.
Dutch people come from?
Nice try. The one, season 5, the one with all the Thanksgivings, is one of the best ones,
That's very
in my
good, yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the boy who hates Thanksgiving. I agree with you. The season, I think the season 10 one's good. I like them all. It's so hard because season 9 with Rachel's other sister, with Amy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's like, wouldn't it be great if you guys died? And Ross is like, thank you, Amy. And then that's also Crazy Plate Lady. And then Chandler breaks all the plates at the end. Season 8, the one I agree with you with Brad Pitt. I'm thinking about joining an I Hate Turkey Club with Rachel and the rumor and Ross with the having set most of her life for oil paintings. It's like the eyes did still sparkle. There's so many good ones. It's so hard to pick, but I'm thinking for me, season 6. The New Girl has some really good Thanksgiving episodes that we always like to watch. I like the one where they go camping.
Yeah, and then they eat the fish.
And
Jess
then
eats the fish,
whatever
that one's
one
good.
where Schmidt and his cousin, I think it's one of the later ones, they have like the Schmidt off and they to see who's the
that-
best Schmidt.
Oh, that wasn't Bangsgiving, right?
That's not
No, that's
Thanksgiving.
not Thanksgiving. Okay.
That's another one. And then, of course, Frasier has one pretty good Thanksgiving episode with Marbury Academy is our first choice. I always like
It's
a
not
good
even the best one, though.
Frasier Lilith mess around. What is the best
I
one?
guess High Holidays is
High
the
Holidays
Thanksgiving.
is
That's
Christmas.
Right, that's right.
Fridge Pants.
Okay. All right.
And the middle has some really good Thanksgiving episodes, too. So many good ones from the middle. But I think my favorite is where they end up like broken down on the side of the road, so they all just start eating. That one's good. And then also where the Donahues are like storing their food at Frankie's house. I don't know why do these people keep trusting the Hex? And then because I've done that before, where you do like the corner method, you eat a little bit, then you tuck it back down to make it, but they end up like eating all their food. So,
Well, my new favorite Thanksgiving tradition, if anybody knows, my birthday usually falls somewhere around Thanksgiving, either before or after a few days, sometimes on.
this year it's on Black Friday.
My newest Thanksgiving tradition
Transaction.
is watching a good old-fashioned Star Trek on Thanksgiving. And so everybody just look forward. In addition to Stranger Things next week, Hope will be able to give you her full thoughts on Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home.
And it's got the lady from Seventh Heaven, right?
Yes.
That plays the mom.
Yes. And it's
And there's whales, apparently.
it is considered so most in the fandom consider Rathacon. It's a conversation between Rathacon, Voyage Home, and then there's a few weirdos like me that throw the Undiscovered Country in there as well. So I'll be interested.
What one was Spock dead half the movie in?
The Search for Spock, the third one. That's the last one we watched.
Okay, I don't.
I'll give you. Listen, I'm going to give you the whole before we start the movie on Friday. I'll give you the whole previously on so you can catch up.
I don't think. Which one did I like better of the two of them?
You liked Rathacon better than Search for Spock so far.
Yeah, there's a thirst trap in Wrath of Khan.
That's not what I didn't see that one coming. But so, anyways, look forward to all of that and more next week. So thank you all for tuning in.
Happy
and
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.